It's Lindsay. We are going to do a Divine Partners reading. As always, if any of these messages don't align for you, take only what you need and leave the rest. We're going to tap in. Let's do a little bit of a blessing. I already got a card, but let's do a little bit of a blessing. Spirit, I ask that messages that come through the cards come through with clarity and understanding for all those involved and for their highest good at this point in time only. Okay. Divine Partners, the Four of Cups. Getting a lot of cards. I'm using the Phantom Wise Tarot from Erin Morgenstern. She is an author, an amazing author, but she also has this really beautiful tarot deck. So let's see what shows up for the Divine Partners. This is interesting because I've done this reading once before and we're getting similar cards. The first time I did this reading, I had 6 sword cards and we're getting more sword cards. So, and we also got the Wheel of Fortune, which I got in the last reading. So let's lock in and see what is happening. If there are any specific messages, I'm going to let you guys know because I've been trying to get more specific with my messages so you guys can get confirmation that these are for you and your situation. So we're going to try and get the connection off the top we're going to start with, and then we'll go Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, the connection spirit, any specific messages around the connection. Swords again, the King of Swords, okay. The King of Swords, the Star, the Tower, and Justice. And the Wheel of Fortune. So you have a lot of major arcana. So that tells me when you have major arcana, this is a large shift in your life, in your relationship. So specifically, the King of Swords is that cutoff energy. This is the one who sets the boundaries. He is the one who says, no, that's not okay with me. We're not going there. We're not doing this. Okay? So it's interesting because we have this very intense energy of boundary setting, but then on the opposite side we have the Four of Swords, which has to do with almost like this exhaustion energy. And I think it has to do with, you know, whatever the Tower moment is. So in this relationship, there was a Tower moment that required a setting of boundaries and clear communication that may have caused a split in the relationship. It may have caused upheaval in a relationship, and it may have also caused a closeout of a cycle. So the Wheel of Fortune is the closing out of a cycle, right? In tandem with the Justice card. So the Justice is balancing energy. So that tells me that whatever this Tower moment was in the relationship, it was brought in to balance the relationship, okay? So we're going to continue to kind of dive deep into this and see what is showing up. What can we get more clarity around the Tower moment? I'm hearing split, which we did have in our last Divine Partners reading. If you haven't already checked that out, please do check that out. That's splitting energy. So you have separated from this person and now you are looking to transmute the energies. And I think in some ways it is a decision point, much in the way of transmuting your energy, as I said in the last reading, as you are by yourself, and seeing if you want to come back together or if it is indeed time to separate fully and finally. There's also this energy when I asked around the Tower moment of the Page of Pentacles, which gives to me like somebody playing around with money in the relationship. So somebody not being upfront about their money situation, somebody being not upfront with the money situation of the partnership. So if one partner handles the finances and the other one doesn't, not being clear with the partner. And I think that's what lent to this Tower moment, specifically with something to do with the finances. Because you also get this other energy of the Magician, as I said. So the Magician upright is someone who transmutes energy into a positive manner, but he can also be an illusionist. Okay, so it's somebody holding up the illusion that the financial system, the financial situation was good. Okay, for holding up this illusion for the other partner, when that is just not the case. Okay, and in some ways I think this illusion was held up because the partner who was handling the finances felt like a failure. Okay, in many ways they had either made some poor decisions, or they had something happen that impacted the finances, and to share that with the partner, it almost, within them, it's like a failure kind of energy. Like, I didn't do what I had to in order to support my family, and I can't tell them that, right? So it's very much that energy. So then the other partner does seem found out in some way or another, either looking at the credit card bills, either opening a piece of mail. I'm seeing the red ones, you know, when you start to have problems, you open the red envelope and you're like, oh, yeah. So that's what it's getting. I'm also seeing someone who, as a partner, the person who is hiding it, always going to the mailbox and grabbing the envelopes before their partner could see, because they knew there were going to be red envelopes in there, and they would take them and they would trash them. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so then we have Judgment and the Knight of Wands. So part of this Tower moment may also have to do with, so if someone is going through bankruptcy, if someone is going through any civil judgment against their behavior around money specifically. So if there is, you know, if there was any, I don't think it would go so far as like embezzlement or something, but specifically what I'm hearing is issues around gambling. And it's not just the way it's looking, issues around like going to the casino. That's not specifically what it's looking like. It's like gambling on the computer, or spending money on the computer, like betting on the computer, betting on sports games and things like that. So that would specifically be, you know, one partner, and not making good choices around that type of energy. Or just in general overspending, right? And so getting in trouble with credit card companies or loans and things like that. So that's very much this Tower moment, as we're talking about in the connection. That's what it was, is the finding out and the partner being like, holy shit, I can't believe you kept this from me, right? So then you have this Judgment, where the partner that things were hidden from walked away, right? Because I also think this other thing, like, because the finances were tied, the partner's finances were also impacted. There was an impact on the partner's finances, and if you live in America, we have credit scores, which is an awful system. But their credit score was specifically impacted because what I'm seeing is co-signers on credit cards, and one of them was running up a credit card, and the co-signer's credit score was impacted because of that. They didn't know how bad it was because they weren't the one paying bills. So then you have the Knight of this Wands energy, which is like escaping, right? So one partner escaping, and the other one, the one who was probably hiding the monetary stuff, kind of like having to deal with the outcome of that, right? Not just the physical or financial outcome, but the mental outcome, okay? Let's get a little bit deep. Excuse me. We're going to get a little bit deeper into the masculine energy and see what happens. See what's coming up for the masculine energy. I'm also getting in the Judgment card, the person who is withholding this information. So we have the weighing of the heart. Their intention was always to do good by their partner or well by their partner, but they made some very serious mistakes. Instead of being honest about it, they weren't. So it was like the best intentions can, like lead you to the worst outcome. It's just the best intentions. Those best intentions can sometimes get you caught up, right? 'Cause you're trying to intend for the best outcome, but you're not being honest with your partner. Okay, this is specifically, there's dishonesty, as I said, around financials. Any specifics on who this message is for, Spirit, who this message is for? So it does look like there's this action, because you have the 8 of Wands and then you have the 9 of Wands. So it's action of rebuilding, okay? So I believe the partner who was being subversive about the finances is trying to rebuild, to bring back their partner, right? They're trying to rebuild the credit. They're trying to rebuild their home. And that may look like filing for bankruptcy, or that may look like, leveraging the home or things like that. They're trying to rebuild what they've lost in order to entice their partner back to them, essentially, is what I'm getting. Okay, so it is giving like second chance energy. And at this point, I think the way it's coming through, it's like a little bit too early for the other partner to even be open to that. Like, they have to see the outcome if this is actually what's happening, because the effect of being lied to in a partnership is so detrimental. So, let's see. So it does seem like one of the partners is kind of sitting back and waiting and watching. They may be doing their own thing, but they're waiting and watching to see what the outcome is, and kind of not speaking right now. So we have the Queen of Swords, so that's cut off energy. That's like, I'm gonna wait and see type energy. Okay, I also have the Page of Wands. So for some of you, this may be true that you had children were involved, because we have the Page of Wands. That can be like young energy, children and or teenagers. And so I think one partner is focusing on stabilizing the environment for the children and or teenagers, or for themselves, and the other one is kind of working on fixing what they had done financially, right? Okay, let's see if there's any other messages, any specific messages for any confirmation. I'm not getting a read on specific masculine or feminine energy at this point. What I'm getting is the connection mainly, and then you have like the last card, which is the Lovers. So there is, if the one partner who has mismanaged the money really gets down and digs into it and rebuilds, there is this possibility for reconnection, but it's going to require an extensive amount of effort, is the way that it's coming through. I'm not getting any specific messages as confirmation right now. I mean, you'll know if this message is for you. But again, this is not divine feminine or divine masculine. It is very much on the connection and emphasis on the financial fixing of the connection, right? And the possibility that when that is done after quite a long time, that trust can be rebuilt, right? So, that is my Divine Partners reading. That was kind of an interesting reading. My name is Lindsey Rose. This is Storyteller Tarot. If you are interested in a reading, please check out my links in bio. Otherwise, I wish you all well.